Joining us in studio now, Bills safety Cole Bishop of the University of Utah. And player interview appearances on One Bills Live are presented by Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons, the official coffee of the Buffalo Bills. All right, Cole, the feet got real wet last week, man. Right in it. And against the highest scoring offense in the NFL. I mean, I'm sure you're glad that that was not happening in week 1 or 2. You probably feel a lot better about it happening in week 15. But how did you kind of approach the week once it became rather evident that Taylor and DeMar were going to have a hard time getting healthy enough to play on Sunday?
Yeah. Trying to just, stick to your routine. I mean, anything could happen any given week. So, I mean, you could be the next man up and someone could get hurt in the very first place. And you're basically starting the game. So, pretty much trying to prepare every week like you're starting. I mean, that's kind of been my routine. So, sticking with that, being able to watch film with Micah now that he's here has been awesome. So, trying to learn from him. But, yeah, just trying to prepare the best you can.
And you, in most cases, when it doesn't look like those guys can practice, you're going to get the benefit of the reps.
Yeah,
but then
there's
no practice on Thursday.
Yeah, it was funny. I was fortunate to make it up here.
Okay.
So I was one of the few guys that was up here because due to the
you
snow
got
and
in?
everything. Yep.
Okay.
Made it up. But, yeah, it's definitely weird without the practice.
Yeah.
What was different, because you got to start in week 5 in Houston. How different did you feel? What was it like?
Yeah, felt a lot more comfortable. I mean, Houston being your first start, obviously your first NFL start, there's a lot going in your head and everything. And say just like really locking on the preparation, like mastering the game plan, being able to study what the other team's going to attack you with, and then just at the end of the day, just knowing your job.
Yeah. Give us an idea. You just mentioned him. Micah gets back in the room, and he's obviously, got a ton of experience.
For sure.
And he's there to show you, right? I mean, what was some of the things you noticed about him? Watch him. I mean, he's got the clicker, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've asked him as much as I can to watch film. We're watching on the off days and things like that a little bit after meetings. So just trying to pick his brain about. I mean, you played in the same defense for however many years he was here. Yeah, 6, 7 years. That's a long time. I mean, I've been here for 6 months or whatever it is, and so trying to learn as much as I can from him for sure.
Has it slowed down?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a lot more comfortable. That was still my second start, so I'm excited, depending on what happens the next coming weeks. So just trying to get as many reps as I can and make the most of them.
Yeah. Your folks, I'm sure they've taken in some of the home games here so far this season. What has been their opinion of what the atmosphere here is like, maybe compared to going to games out at Utah or even high school games down in Georgia?
Yeah, they love Bills Mafia. My dad was pretty excited about it. They're always going tailgating and stuff. Me and Joe Andreessen are friends, so they were hanging out with his parents a little bit. They showed him around the tailgates.
Sure, you got a hometown inn.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
so they had a couple good tailgates for him and everything. But they love it. They love the games and everything like that.
Yeah. They got indoctrinated pretty quick.
Right.
That's a good way to do it.
So tell me this, you're trying, I know it's a routine, and you're trying to, every game's the same, but you're going from the Detroit Lions, who are the 1 seed in the NFC, and they got the highest scoring offense in the league, to a division opponent who's going to know your defensive scheme really well, but who hasn't been as productive.
Yep.
Give me the idea of, the different considerations you've got in that prep.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they're still an NFL team. They still have NFL players. So, obviously their record might not be what the Lions was, but they said a stat today, they have however many 7 games within 1 score. So, I mean, they're right there to, have a completely different record. So, being able to prepare for them just like every other week is definitely important.
Right.
Did you – I remember in the spring and then in training camp, media was asking you, how different is this defensive system from what you ran at Utah? And if I remember, you said it was completely different. You played a lot of man coverage, right, at Utah?
Played a lot of man.
And here it's a lot of zone, as you know. How did you decide, because everybody's got to have some kind of plan, how am I going to absorb this and nail this thing down? So what was your plan going into it, knowing it was that different?
Yeah. So OTAs is kind of an intro to everything. I mean, you obviously have some Zooms and stuff before them, but you can't really get a feel for it over Zoom. So then once you get in person in OTAs, I mean, you get all the basics and everything, and pretty much everything installed, but not a ton of reps at it because it's not a ton of time.
Yeah.
So then just that whole time we have off up until training camp, studying, doing flashcards, things like that, trying to just get everything memorized, and then coming back for training camp feeling good with it.
It has been, obviously Josh was, I don't know if you probably know, Josh was the AFC Offensive Player of the Week again. watching that guy, and you practice against him. I know you're the look. Sometimes you do the look stuff for the number one offense, that kind of stuff. Before you started, playing all the time, you've seen what the guy does up close and personal. You get an idea of give us an idea of this offense. This offense really seems to be clicking, and they're getting that from a ton of guys. I mean, Josh is the catalyst, but you got Shakir, you've got Ty Johnson, you got Kincaid, Cook, Knox, all these guys, just a ton of guys. Yep. Give us an idea of what some of your defensive guys are saying about how good this offense has been playing. I mean, you're seeing it every day.
Yeah, I mean, obviously being able to see Josh is incredible. I mean, during OTAs, like, one thing I just noticed is, like, I'd have a great break on the ball, and I mean, it's getting in there.
Yeah,
pretty much all
there anyway.
Yeah. I mean, obviously phenomenal. I don't want to speak for, all their whatever their sayings are, but I remember something about, like, everybody eats.
Yep,
and
sure.
That's coming to life. I mean, all these guys are doing everything. So, I mean, I was on punt team. I've been on the punt team most of the season, so getting ready to go out on third down. And then, Josh typically makes something happen on third down. So
you sit back down, take your mouthpiece
sit
out.
right back down.
All right, so tell me, because from a defensive mindset, if you had to go against this offense and you're seeing 9 different guys catch balls, and you watch Amari Cooper catch 6 balls one week, and you're like, oh, we got to look out for this guy. Maybe we got to roll covers that way a little bit during the game. And then you do that, and there's 8 other guys doing stuff over here. How confounding is that to get a bead on, an offense and trying to just neutralize that and slow them down?
Yeah, it's got to be hard. I mean, fortunately, we don't play them. So,
well, right.
I'm not completely sure exactly how our approach would be.
That's a problem, right?
Yes, for sure. I mean, we got a dominant run game. We got a ton of guys, receivers, tight ends, everybody that can do it. So, but you also have to worry about Josh scrambling. So it's hard. You can't drop too many guys into coverage. So, I mean, there's a lot to unfold with our offense.
What have you made of the defense's ability to take the ball away? I think there's only one game this year. The Rams game was the only game you guys did not get one. And I was listening to TB's mic'd up when you guys played the Colts. And right after Taryn goes in for the pick 6, right at the start of their first drive, he comes to the sidelines, and Coach Adai is like, all right, that's 1, but then we got to get another one. We got to have 4 by the end of the game. And I'm sitting there going, 4? Like 4? But, like, it seems like that's the standard now. Like, the expectation and all of that. Take me inside how that all got cultivated to be, like, priority number 1 every week.
Yeah, that's a part of our defensive philosophy is, taking the ball away and scoring is also a part of it. I mean, every week they sometimes, set different numbers on the goal for takeaways every week. And, I mean, even this, I think we had just one this past game, so obviously we want to get more than that.
Yeah, CB got it.
Yep, that was a great play.
That was an unbelievable play.
Looking for get a couple more this week.
Yeah.
So you get this. Have you started to acclimate towards what it means to have a division game rather than like the Rams, the Lions are out of this franchise never really sees those teams. Maybe once every 3 years for sure. But they see some teams a ton in these division games like the Patriots, the Dolphins, the Jets, are those teams that are, people around here really know. I know this is your first year. Is there a different vibe for that?
Yes and no. Like some games more than others. I would say like Miami, the defense has like a certain way we play things and things like that. But like this is my first time seeing the Patriots stuff. The Jets next week, I'm assuming we might have a similar game plan. Not completely sure, but it'll definitely be easier like in the coming years because you've seen it. Yeah. You've seen it twice a year. But for me, it's still a lot of it's still new.
Right.
All right, time now for this week's Timbits Timeout, presented by, of course, Tim Hortons, where we have the fans ask Bills players a unique question. So this week's question comes from Brian, and he asks, what is the biggest challenge you have faced coming to the NFL? Speed of the game, schemes, play style, etc. Thanks very much.
Yeah, I'd say probably just coming into a completely new system. I mean, in college you play 3 or 4 years in the same system with the same guys, and then coming into a completely new thing, having to learn it, and then just get comfortable playing it again, especially depending on like how many reps you're getting and everything. Like for me personally, I feel like the best way to get comfortable is just more and more reps.
Yeah.
So being able to get the game against Houston, made some mistakes then, being able to learn from it, and then come in last week and, just keep trying to have a steady increase in play.
I realize physical reps are the thing. Like, that's how you learn the fastest, by playing and repping it with the guys around you. But do you feel like, especially being a young guy trying to earn your way onto the field, like the importance of being a visual learner too is like huge?
For sure. I think when I got hurt in training camp, that was pretty much all I could do was mental reps. So you're sitting out there trying to imagine yourself out there every single play.
Yeah.
So just like going through your reads and keys and everything.
Yeah.
Trying to describe I know you got that Houston game under your belt, like you say, you make a couple of mistakes. You always use a young guy. Describe after you're out there going full speed and something happens, you missed a play, and you think, oh, I should have done this or should. How deep does that lesson go? Like, you'd never get beat like that again.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
for sure.
I mean, it sticks with you because as a young, particularly as a young player, the last thing you want to do is let the guys down.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, the last thing you want to do is let the guys down. So when something happens in a game, I mean, you obviously try to have a short memory, but you definitely remember it. I mean, everybody can say short memory, forget about it, but you still remember
the
it.
next day you remember it for sure when you watch
exactly.
it. Exactly.
So just being able to learn from that game and then, just like I said, keep trying to steadily increase.
Last one for you, Cole. I know the focus is on the game on Sunday, but after you get through that, what are the family Christmas plans? Is the family going to be able to come up for the
Parents
midweek
are coming
stuff?
out for the game. They the time push helped them out, so they'll be able to come to the game.
Oh,
now.
okay, yeah. With the 4 o'clock
nice.
start,
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
They'll be
4:25.
out staying for Christmas and then headed out after.
Oh, awesome.
That's
Perfect.
great.
Yeah, it kind of helps when Christmas is in midweek as a football
Exactly.
player, right?
Exactly.
Certainly helps. All right, appreciate the time, Cole. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. I know the fans appreciate getting to know you a little bit better.